So Todd,
I'm calling you on the phone.
and we're pre-qualifying
Right.
for a listing appointment.
Yep.
And Rancho Bernardo, I feel that I'm the seller. I feel that it's worth $450,000. The property is really worth 400. You're calling to pre-qualify me before you go out on the appointment.
Right. Exactly. Ring, ring.
Hi.
Hi, Ruth. It's Todd with Century 21. How are you?
Hi. Great, Todd. How are you?
Good. I'm doing fantastic. Ruth, do you have a quick second?
I do.
Awesome. I just had a couple quick questions for you before I come out this afternoon at 4.
Perfect.
Okay? So, Ruth, when we get together this afternoon, if what I say makes sense to you, and most importantly, Ruth, if you feel comfortable with me and confident that I can sell your home, are you considering listing the property with me today at 4?
Well, you know, I told you that I was interviewing one other agent.
Okay.
Right.
Great.
Mhm.
I can appreciate that. That was
Right.
my next question, actually.
Right.
Now, you have another appointment already set?
Right.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so you'll interview me today
Right.
and the other agent tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay, then how will you go about making your decision?
Well, it just depends on what you have to say.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So,
All right.
if we vibe today, if what I say makes sense, and everything is exactly what you want, would there be anything stopping you from signing a contract with me?
Well, you know, I still have that appointment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there.
Okay.
Remind me, Ruth, where are you moving to again?
I'm moving to Northern California to be with my grandchildren.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You must be excited.
I am so
And
excited.
how old are your grandkids?
They're 7 and 5.
Nice.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
must be important to you.
So important.
Fantastic. And how soon do you want to be there?
Well, I'm thinking I would like to be there before Christmas.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Christmas with the grandkids in Northern California.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
Okay, good. And Ruth, do you need to sell this property first before you make the
Oh,
move?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you're not moving?
Yeah.
There is no grandkids, Christmas,
We can't.
anything until you sell this house?
Right.
So that's the big goal here, is to get this home sold.
Correct.
Okay, good. And when I see you this afternoon, Ruth, how much have you thought about listing the property for?
Oh, we're not going to go for anything less than 450,000. We
Yeah.
have to have 450,000.
Okay. You
So-
have to have 450.
We have to have
Okay, good.
450.
And how much do you owe on the property?
It's paid for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow,
This
okay.
is our retirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So specifically the 450, what's important to you about that number? How'd you come up with that number?
My husband and I have, he's very analytical and he has figured out how long we're going to live and how much it's going to take
Okay.
to get us through life. And,
So you know how long you're going to live?
well, we have it in our goals.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So you're taking this money and breaking it down on your cost of living
correct.
with how long you expect
Yeah.
to live. Interesting. Do you have plans to invest that money though? And,
Oh, yeah,
okay, good. So you
Yeah.
have some good plans.
right.
Okay, good. Well, Ruth, as a professional real estate agent, I'm in the market negotiating contracts, and we study home sales and their values every day. So
Right.
therefore, I assume when you list the property with me, you want to list it at a price that's going to cause it to sell, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So with that thought in mind,
Hmm.
and keeping in mind Christmas and the grandkids, what's the absolute price you would not go below? If I have a duffel bag of money and I put it on your kitchen table
Right.
today.
I could not, you know, we've talked about this, and I could not go below 435.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
435 would be your absolute
Yeah,
rock bottom.
rock bottom.
Okay, got it. And I know when you came off the market before, you were listed at
475.
475. Did
Yeah.
you have much interest at
None.
that price?
None.
No offers either?
No.
And how did you pick the last agent that you had?
It was a referral.
Okay, so it was referred, somebody referred to you?
Yeah.
So knowing what you know now, Ruth, and having that experience behind you, and knowing what doesn't work, what will you expect from me as your agent after we get started today?
That's a great question. I'm going to expect good communication, because I never heard from her.
Okay,
Okay, good communication. I'd like to see, you know, your track record, you
okay,
know, how many houses you've sold.
good, that's good.
Yeah,
What else?
and so good communication, track record,
Mhm.
and I want to see what you think that my home is worth.
Okay, good.
I want to see if we vibe and we can work together.
Okay, good, so good communication is important.
Right.
You want to see my sales resume, you want to know my track record, like you say.
Exactly.
Okay. you will need an opinion on the value of the home, and like you say, do we buy it together? Would we work well together?
Correct.
Okay, great. Those are all very important things. Fantastic. And Ruth, do you have any questions for me before I come in?
Well, no.
Okay.
I mean, should I be asking you something?
You tell me.
No.
I think we've got to the root of what's
Yeah.
important to you.
Totally.
So now we just need to figure out what's going to take to get you and your husband to your grandkids up in San Francisco in the Bay Area by Christmas time.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
what this is all about, right?
Exactly.
Perfect. See you for.
See you at Fort. Okay, thanks.
Mike would say that your listing presentation is done on the phone.
Absolutely.
So now when I get to that appointment,
Right?
I'm not talking about anything but communication, my sales resume, the value of the property, and a good vibe. And
Okay.
that's it.
And how
We're
are
not
you?
gonna talk about anything else. She didn't mention anything about marketing. She doesn't, does she care that Century 21 has a YouTube channel, or that, you're gonna get the listing enhancement package on Realtor.com? Is that something that's important to her?
Right,
Probably not, right?
exactly.
So if I spend a lot of time talking about those things
Yeah.
to someone that it means nothing to, I'm going in with the mindset that you're probably already sold on Century 21. You didn't ask me at all what I'm gonna do differently, or how you're comparing me to the other agent or your last agent. All I'm gonna talk about are these things right here.
Mhm. And in your opinion, is 4 items about what you get?
Yeah, tops. I mean,
Yeah.
It's always, communication's always number one.
Right.
It's always the same thing. Communication is key. Resume's easy, value's easy. I know your husband's analytical, so I know I better have a kick-ass CMA that shows price per square foot. And I need to show him where
Right.
you want the vibe.
So
You
to-
want where communication
Yeah.
warm fuzzies. Your husband doesn't give a shit about any of that.
Right.
He wants numbers because he's analytical. So I'll probably be speaking 2 different languages with her and with him. These are the thoughts that are going through my mind as I'm preparing for that appointment. Because he must be very analytical if you volunteered that information
Right.
to me. That's my thought going into it.
Perfect.
And then this, and then your 5-year-old and 7-year-old grandkids.
You're gonna drive that
you're
home.
dying to go
Yeah.
spend Christmas with. That's what the real motivation
So
is. So
in-
every time you get slippery on me, that's where we're going.
Okay, but it's
Right
not
back to
important
the
to the
grandkids.
husband. He's
The
very,
grandkids.
the grandkids?
Yeah, I don't know that yet.
Okay,
I'm assuming he's analytical.
right,
The CMA and the numbers are.
right.
But when we get there, I'll have a similar conversation with
So
him
in
to get all
your
his
opinion-
emotions out on the table too, because I know yours now.
But in your opinion, who do you think is gonna be the deciding factor here?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Well, I would think just the fact that I'm talking to you on the phone and
Good
not
job.
him tells me more likely than not that you are.
When the
But I
roll-
don't want to assume that. I don't want to get there
Yeah,
and
totally.
ignore him, because that may not be the case.
So I
And I've had
think,
that happen where you assume it's one, and guess what? You spend the whole time
Exactly.
catering to that one, and you don't get it because it wasn't that one at all.
exactly. Good job.
So you need to, when you get face to face with him, have a similar conversation just to make sure we're all on the same page here. I need to know what's important to you to help you get what you want.
Well, what's important to me right now is what really resonated with me was the fact that you listened to everything that was said. You have good ears. And I'm just not sure that all the agents out there have good listening ears. Are they really hearing what the client says? Are they really listening to what is their motivation? Is she analytical? Is she, does she want to see her grandkids? You know, I mean, are they gonna be able to go after the emotion?
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. And if you don't know what that motivation is, you're shooting in the dark. You have to know what the motivation is, because that's what's that's
Right.
where the sense of urgency is gonna come from.
Right.
There's no reason we can't sell that 3-2 in Rancho Bernardo for $435,000. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Okay, and in your mind, what is your thought? You know that area sells at 400,000.
Mhm,
You know that I want 450.
mhm.
What is your thought about going in?
I think anybody turning down any listing right now in this market is a fool. take it. Set the expectation, set the expectation. Okay, I'm gonna get there,
Right.
I'm gonna show you the comps, then I'm gonna go completely into the price qualification script, which is, so tell me, Ruth, specifically, what makes you feel that your home is worth $35,000 more than all these homes right here? And I'm showing him, because he's analytical, and I'm pointing to that number right there, and I'm looking at you and my finger's right there. Tell me.
Do you have eye contact with him?
Both.
Okay,
Vice versa, depends on where the energy's coming from.
okay.
So tell me specifically, what makes you feel that we're going to be able to get $35,000 more than this number right here? Tell me.
Well, I have to have that, Todd. I've got to have that, or we're not going to be able to retire.
You're not gonna be able
And, the market's coming up, we might as well just wait.
Okay. And how will that factor into the equation as far as the grandkids and Christmas and et cetera?
Yep, that will be hard.
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, the market's coming up, you say, how much do you think that it's come up?
Well, from what I read, it's come up 10%.
Wow.
Am I right?
Well, here's the analysis right here. You tell me. Does it look like it's come up 10%?
Well, do you feel that we could at least try at 435?
Right, and then close.
Yeah.
But set the expectation.
Bam.
Let's do this. Why don't we list the property today at your price? But you don't want to go through what you went through last time at 475 with no offers, right?
Right.
So if we don't have any offers in the first 14 days, we can always adjust the price down. In fact, I've brought this form here, which is the modification of terms. So why don't we start at the 435? We'll sign this today, that if it doesn't sell in the first 2 weeks at that price, we'll adjust it down to my price.
Okay, but wait, I have that appointment tomorrow with the other agent, and I just want to see what they have to say. Because 15,000,
Dollars?
15,000, if they say that we can get 450,
Oh, wow, okay. So, now I'm confused. Help me understand. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So if that agent comes in and tells you that they think your house is worth more than the 435, would you pick them because they told you that?
well, we've got to net the most.
Right. And
Yeah.
Ruth, I hear what you're saying. My clients hire me to fight, to protect the equity in their homes. The reality is, these comps right here,
Right,
they're the comps.
right,
You could talk to 2 agents, you could talk to 20 agents. These numbers aren't going to change.
yeah.
Let's do the right thing. Sign the contract today at your price of $435.
Okay,
Sound good?
sounds good.